The Siege of Leningrad stands as one of the longest, most devastating, and most tragic sieges in human history. Lasting from September 8, 1941, to January 27, 1944, this brutal military blockade by Nazi Germany and its allies against the Soviet city of Leningrad, now Saint Petersburg, spanned 872 days. It caused the deaths of over 1 million civilians and remains a haunting symbol of human endurance, suffering, and resilience during World War II. Background: Hitler's plan to starve a city. Leningrad, the cradle of the Russian Revolution and the Soviet Union's second-largest city, held immense political, cultural, and strategic importance. When Germany invaded the Soviet Union in June 1941 under Operation Barbarossa, Leningrad became a key target. Adolf Hitler did not plan to occupy the city. He intended to annihilate it, starve its population, and erase it from the map. By early September, German forces had advanced to the city's southern outskirts, while Finnish troops, Germany's allies, blocked it from the north. Leningrad was completely encircled. Supply lines were cut and its fate was sealed. A city of over 3 million would be trapped without food, heat, or outside help. Living through the siege, life inside Leningrad quickly descended into horror. The city's food stocks dwindled, and by the winter of 1941-42, rations dropped to as little as 125 grams (4.4 ounces) of bread per person per day, often mixed with sawdust or cellulose to make it stretch further. Freezing temperatures, lack of fuel, and constant artillery bombardment added to the misery. People collapsed in the streets from starvation. Thousands froze to death in their unheated apartments. Mass graves filled the city's cemeteries, and horrifyingly, cannibalism was documented in extreme cases of desperation. Yet, in the face of unimaginable suffering, Leningrad citizens showed remarkable resilience. Cultural life continued. Symphony concerts were held. Most famously, Dmitri Shostakovich's Leningrad Symphony was performed in 1942 by a starving orchestra. Factories produced weapons even while under bombardment. Children kept diaries, some of which, like Tanya Savicheva's heartbreaking journal, survive as chilling testimonies of life during the siege. The road of life. As the city was encircled, the only lifeline was the frozen Lake Ladoga. During winters, Soviet trucks braved German shelling to cross the ice in what became known as the Road of Life. In summer, boats ferried supplies. This tenuous route brought in limited food and evacuated hundreds of thousands, but it was never enough to meet the city's full needs. Breaking the siege. In January 1943, the Soviet Red Army launched Operation Iskra, opening a narrow land corridor to Leningrad and partially relieving the blockade. However, the full siege was not lifted until January 27, 1944, after a major Soviet offensive forced German forces to retreat. The end of the siege was met with tears, celebrations, and an overwhelming sense of both loss and survival. By then, over 1 million civilians had perished, mostly from starvation and exposure, making it one of the greatest civilian tragedies of World War II. Legacy. The Siege of Leningrad left an indelible mark on Russian history and global memory. It was not just a military event but a human catastrophe. Leningrad was awarded the title Hero City, in recognition of its people's courage and sacrifice. Today, memorials, museums, and cemeteries stand as silent witnesses to this dark chapter. The siege remains a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable horror, and a warning of the cost of total war. The 872 days of the Siege of Leningrad were not merely a battle of bombs and bullets, they were a test of will, endurance, and humanity. The people of Leningrad endured one of the worst blockades in modern history and emerged not only scarred but also defiant. Their suffering became a symbol of Soviet resistance and a haunting echo of the true price of war.